Hello everyone, Balgat here, and today I'm joined by Terse. We are going to discuss a bit about Lodge Wars while playing a couple of games. So how are you, Terse, today?
Oh, I'm super fine, and I'm very happy to join your YouTube video and to talk a bit about Bloodwords, which will start in the future, like in the next future, because after the World Cup hits playoff stages, we will probably start the registration time, and afterwards, like 3 weeks later, probably we start the tournament itself.
Okay,
So I'm already a bit hyped.
so that's coming in quite soon actually.
I hope we can start in around 4 weeks or 5 weeks. It depends. Like, there will be a major patch coming next week for the game itself. So
Hmm.
we will have to check if we, like, put the World Cup on hold for a week and figure it out if it's, like, absolutely influential what to the game or if it's just more of a cosmetic patch. So we are not sure how big the patch will be, but EG told us it's okay. It shouldn't stop the World Cup for a week, but we figured out like
Okay,
next week.
I didn't know there was such a good communication between EG and tournament organizers.
Yeah, we are working on it since a while, and EG often tells us a week early that a patch will hit. We don't get any details, but like sometimes they tell us it will change the game a bit. And at that point, probably put a tournament on hold for a week, just let people figure out what is viable. Does it influence the tournament? Are factions getting nerfed very, very hard or buffed very, very hard? And sometimes what we did in in earlier tournaments is that we allowed players to resync their factions, um, to change them and to figure them out. For Lodge Wars, we won't have to because you are not bound to a certain faction over the tournament. You can choose another faction every week.
Okay, so it's gonna be very flexible in terms of either deck building or balances coming to the game.
I hope so. The only thing I fear a bit is card balancing, so that I have to restrict cards. At the moment, I don't think I want to, and I don't think I have to, but the option is still there.
Yeah,
So it will be like a week early decision every time, but not as long as there's no other big patch coming. I think I don't will restrict any cards or factions so far.
yeah, so far, like the most OP faction, the Sisters, they have taken a pretty big nerf, so they shouldn't be that OP anymore. And if I understand correctly, there will be so many games that actually Crucial Choice won't be that relevant. Like when it's a best of three, you can easily turn around the best of three, but like when there are 20 players fighting each other, one game being swing by Crucial Choice doesn't really matter.
Well, Crucial Choice is a card some players have talked about to me, and we discussed it. And I think it's a very strong card, and it's mandatory in so many decks at the moment because
Yeah.
it can totally swing the game. If you get like a second Pride of the Emperor, if you are playing Emperor's Children, and your lethal range becomes so unexpected huge, it's really, really rough. And I can understand the frustration. On the other hand, you are not guaranteed to get a good card. Sometimes you get a more or less dead card in hand, like you can have three bad choices. I honestly don't want to restrict it because I think it is to a degree fun, and you also have to draw the card itself.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see the frustration, and maybe I will restrict it in the playoffs if it is necessary. If it's if it
Yeah.
is
Okay.
like the basis for so many issues and frustration, then obviously it should be restricted.
Yeah. Okay. But okay. Okay. I see your point here.
I mean, you are absolutely right. We have 9 games per round for every matchup. Like it's 3 players every round who play 3 best of 3s. So in the end, I think one outlier now, like Crucial Choice, shouldn't break it. But you also don't have to, like, there are also some factions who don't use Crucial Choice. And I mean, since there are at least 6 different factions per team you send out each round, it's a pretty standard concept what we are playing. It's like in every tournament we play best of 3s, 2 warlords, conquest mode, so you have to win with both warlords. So if you win with, let's say you pick Fulgrim and Horus, and you win with Fulgrim, your second game has to play with Horus, and if you lose that, your third game as well. So you have to win with both your warlords.
Okay, you have
Since
to win with both your
every
walls.
Yeah, and since you send 3 players who don't like, we have to play different factions. Like you have to send out 6 different factions every round. There are some factions you don't need Crucial Choice,
Yeah,
and
not that
I
many of
don't.
them.
Yeah, so the whole issue becomes smaller, and I honestly think that um, the well, maybe let's talk about the setup of Lodge Wars first. That should help a
Yeah,
lot.
let's talk about the
Um,
setup first, then we'll go through the walls individually, I guess.
yeah. Okay. So generally, we want to have like real Lodge Wars. Since like the last Lodge Wars have always been fun, but it has been 3 players out of a lodge, and the rest of the lodge wasn't really involved in the whole Lodge Wars thing, and
Hmm.
it was fun, but it never felt like Lodge Wars.
Okay.
So this time I wanted to include more or less the whole lodge, and to register for Lodge Wars you have to field at least 9 players. That's the absolute
Mm.
minimum you have to have in your lodge who wants to play at least one matchup. So you can send up to 20, like your whole lodge, if you want to, but
Mm-hmm.
minimum is 9. Every round you play like 3, you send in 3 players, and those 3 players are restricted from playing in the following round. So let's say you, Varpix, and I are in one lodge. We play in the first round for our lodge, and then for the second round, our lodge master or lodge wars coordinator or whatever you want to call it
Mm-hmm.
will choose 3 other guys from our lodge to play in round 2.
Okay.
We can play in round 3 again and round 5 or whatever, and we don't have to be in this certain setup. So I don't have to play with you in each round. Maybe like I play in round 3 with Warpix and Scuff D, and you play round 4 with other guys. So um,
But why would I want
you
to play
can.
with anyone else but you?
Yeah, okay, well, that's absolutely fair, and I can understand that. But we don't have fixed teams that you like who have to play for for their lodge.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. So that helps us a lot with stuff like if we take a look at the World Cup. Sometimes it seems very difficult for some people to get their games done. Some people tend to lose interest in tournaments after a certain amount of rounds.
Yeah.
So then it takes very, very long to get the games done. And the deadlines of a week to play around are getting expanded, and it gets very frustrating. I think if the World Cup went very smoothly, we would have already been in semifinals or even in the finals
Yeah.
without so many
That's.
rounds. And that's something that hopefully won't happen with this format, because like you have a lot of players. If I go on vacation for a week, I just don't play in this round.
Yeah.
My lodge
Oh.
master decides someone else takes my spots this round to play for my team.
And I guess that's why you decided to set up the minimal to 9 players.
Yes, and to like, since not every player has to play, I want to have some more players who like, I want to see at least 9 players from a team. I can understand that if you're in a big lodge and there are 20 players, not all 20 are interested in participating.
Yeah,
That's absolutely no problem. But at least 9 of those guys should be. And those 9 guys can play like for your whole tournament, but that's the absolute minimum. And this way,
yeah,
we also don't need substitutes or stuff like that, because like, your whole lodge is a substitute. You don't have to name them.
yeah,
What I
exactly.
expect from the lodge master or lodge wars coordinator or whatever he is called is that I or my co-hosts get a mail or a direct message each Sunday till 16 UTC
Mm-hmm.
of who is playing for the upcoming round and what warlords did he choose.
Okay.
So we will send out the matchups on Monday morning, probably, maybe Sunday very late. And at that point, like, you can start the round, but like, since we don't know which 3 guys are playing, I need one guy who like has all the information. That's why I don't want every single player to send me a direct message what he's playing,
Yeah,
but
it
I
would
want
be. It would be
someone
a nightmare.
coordinated, because else I get probably 160 direct messages and have no overview who is in which lodge and
Mm.
when he last played and stuff like that. So just to make the group of, or make the information a bit more compact, I want a certain designated coordinator for each team.
Yeah, that's perfectly understandable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, then the next part is obviously the order of names I get. Like, if I get your name first, Varg picks name second, and mine third. That's the exact order in which we will play like our opponent's lodge. Like, the first named guy plays the first named guy from the other lodge. So
Okay.
sometimes makes sense to like consider who you are like putting at number 1, 2, or 3.
Okay.
Might not be very important, might be, I don't know, we will see. But I think that's
It's either gonna be a lot of
interesting.
mind game or a lot of randomness.
Also, if you really want to, and there are some people who have a rivalry or really want to play each other, those Lodge Wars coordinators can speak to each other and say, hey, this guy absolutely would like to play your guy. And
Okay.
if it's the same vice versa, they both get named at the first, second, or third place. Like, so they can get their matchup if they want to.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
If they don't want to, I don't care. Like, yeah, sure, why not? But you can do it. Um, then yeah, obviously, why at least 9 players? So you can actually use like the same 6 players over and over again. Like, since you
Hmm.
are only retired for the next week. But I would like to see some more players. So if you only send in the same 6 players each other round, your last 3 guys have to play in the finals for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, if you don't send in 9 different players over the length of the tournament, then you are not eligible for the prize pool. So you are losing, so to say. So in the end, you have to send in those 3 guys. So
Yeah, you
maybe
do.
sometimes it's wise to consider which team do I need my best players versus which team maybe can I get away with sending in one of like my not so good players. Like, every lodge has like a few guys who are like at the top and some guys who are like, yeah, they are good, but they are not the same level. So sometimes it's important to consider who will I face, which team I'm afraid of, and
Yeah, and should I need to save my best player for them?
yeah, right. So it has some like a small strategic element to it.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds
Um,
good.
so that's like the most important thing. Yeah, obviously what I already talked about is like with the World Cup and that it took very, very long. So we TOs decided that we will this time use a really hard cap. So as I told you, my deadline is every Sunday, 16 UTC.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't get like names of the players and their warlord choices, they I won't take them afterwards. That means you haven't named a player and you haven't named a warlord for the upcoming round, so you can't play a game, and the matchup will go 3-0 to the opponent's team.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. So I really want. I mean, it's not so hard for a lodge to get 3 players and 6 warlords written down in 1 p.m. and get it sent to us.
Yeah.
Like, um, if you want to, you can on day one send me a message with like those 3 guys are playing round one with those warlords, those 3 guys round two, those 3 guys round four, and stuff like that till the finals. You can do that. It's absolutely okay. But I mean, it's not so difficult to get like a short message done, and it helps us a lot. Like if we have information early and your opponents also thank you a lot if they can play their games, and it won't take till Christmas till we finish Lodge Wars. Because I think what I can see is around like maybe 7, 8 rounds in total till we finish the finals. Like 3 group games, then like 3, 4, maybe 5 rounds in the playoffs. That's the absolute maximum I expect. So within 2 months, we could easily do it.
Okay.
So that's something I think is really good because we are planning to host other tournaments as well.
Oh.
Like we tournament organizers, we are discussing faction wars. Then there are some ideas of tournaments we would like to host, but it's often very bad to host like multiple bigger tournaments at the same time. They are the players who join tournaments are like from it's not the broad mass. It's like it's the same 200 guys more or less over and over again who pretty regular join every single tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are like some more players who join occasionally. So having them play in multiple tournaments at the same time will lead to confusion. They don't know which opponent they face for which tournament and stuff like that. So we will go one by one.
Yeah.
So finishing Lodge Wars this year would absolutely be appreciated.
Yeah, finishing. Yeah, I mean, you said it would start soon in August. I don't think it will last like 4 months. For how long does the World Cup go on?
Yeah, I mean,
For like how
the
many? For
World
how
Cup
much time have we been playing World Cup? It's like 2 months already.
at least I believe. I could check. Let me see. World Cup. When did it start? Pinned messages. So okay, I think May. Yeah, it's 2 months now, and we are still not in the playoffs. So I mean, there are reasons for it, but yeah, I think neither. I don't think Grey Fox expected it to take this long, and now Zacharias, who took over, I think he's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think
He's,
so too.
I mean, um, there have been some mistakes which have been made. And we try to fix them like ad hoc. Zacharias asked a lot for help, and we other TOs enjoyed helping him. Especially LCFR was really, really active behind the scenes about checking the rules, what is going on, how can we fix it, and that was really, really good. It didn't took us too long to get it back on track, more or less. I mean, some of the rules are, we are not too happy about them, but in the end, we stick to like those rules we announced before we started. Like we can't change the whole tournament. We want to, like, people planned with something, so we can't change the whole rule set. But I think we addressed the really weak points of the tournament already.
Yeah, I kind of think that you did a really good job with everyone talking around. Like everyone had their own runs, and like they wanted something different. Either they were playing Diddy and they wanted to change, either they didn't and they didn't want to change. Either they were targeting Diddy and that's and
Yeah,
also
right.
about the court choice, the cons favor, everything like that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Um, so what is the? Oh yeah, right. A really important point I forgot for Lodge Wars is, if you want to participate in Lodge Wars and don't have 9 active players or 9 players who are willing to play,
Mm-hmm.
I will allow mixed teams. Mixed
Okay.
teams will be teams from, I hope, only 2 lodges, and they can like join either a common lodge, or they get me a list of players and which lodge they are in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they are allowed to play together like as one team. But the difference for a mixed team to a normal lodge team is that only players who played for a mixed team are receiving card backs if they get into the prize pool range, while for a lodge, every single lodge member will get the card back, even if he doesn't play a game. So
Okay.
let's say Masterclass wins Lodge Wars, and
Hmm.
9 players out of Masterclass play the game. All 20 get the card back. If
Okay.
Masterclass doesn't find 9 players and joins with like Traitor's End, and so we have 5 guys for Masterclass and 4 guys on Traitor's End. Look, for example, only those
Yeah.
9
Yeah.
guys get the cardbacks, and 15 guys from Masterclass and 16 guys from Traitor's End won't get it. Because they didn't play in a game and they didn't help their lodge to get a lodge team online. So that's it. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I think giving out the cardbacks to every player in a lodge is kind of cool. It makes more of a
Yeah.
Lodge Wars feeling.
I agree with
And
that.
if you have 20 players, not every single one can play. Like, if we have 6 rounds only, then that means, like, you only can field 18 players at all. That's the absolute maximum you can do. And if you have 7 rounds, you maybe can field every single one. So,
I mean, if
I
there are
don't
7 rounds
want...
and then the finals, it's
Yeah,
theoretically possible.
I mean 7 rounds including the finals. If we have
Okay.
like
Yeah.
three group stages rounds and then like 4 playoff rounds, that's 7 rounds in total. That's a maximum of 21 different people who can play. So that's pretty rough to get 20 people in. Like, you have to find times when people can play. Sometimes like the same guys are not available in a week. Like, if you have like 5 players who can't play in one certain week, maybe some others have to play a second game or stuff like that. So I don't want people who would have liked to play a game but can't play for whatever reasons,
Mm-hmm.
miss out on a lodge reward. So that's why I say you don't have to play a game. If your lodge somehow makes it and fielded at least 9 different player, the whole lodge will receive the reward. So
Okay.
it's obviously first place gets gold, second place gets silver, and third place get bronze. Fourth place won't get a card back, I have to say. It was kind of rough to negotiate with Everguild. Everguild doesn't like to give out card backs.
Oh,
They that's something they're not super interested in, and giving it out to to possibly 60 players already was kind of rough, but they agreed to it.
okay.
And
Thanks to them.
yeah, but we won't get any further prizes, so there won't be any legendaries of choice, and there won't be gold.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So
it's
I
a bit
mean,
annoying, but like, okay.
yeah, but I think the problem for Everguild is giving out 60 different cards of choice
Yeah.
is something they won't do. And I think many people are at the point they are interested in exclusive stuff, like exclusive card backs, more than like getting
Specific
another
card.
card. Yeah, and they can join like the weekly tournament to try to get it. It's probably an easier way.
Yeah.
Or try to face a crucible boss or something like that. So there are ways to get those cards you are hunting, but I think Lodge Wars is more about bragging rights and some pride. So the card back for your whole lodge is
It's a lot more
pretty cool.
relevant, yeah. And also, there are probably going to be more veterans than beginners. Like, most likely many players with a full collection already, so these players are a lot more interested in the pride, as said, than in the card backs.
Yeah, I agree. Like I expect like there are some teams I expect to see who will have a lot of players who own at least 95% of the collection. They are missing like 1, 2, 3 legendaries. They are hunting for a while, but or waiting for those to appear in shop. But they are not like in dire need of a certain legendary to make their decks work.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something I really considered and was like, yeah, I think the card back is something people are more interested in.
It would have been also like a bit complicated because if everyone in the lodge would have gained free legendaries, a free legendary, sorry, we would have seen a lot like, okay, join this lodge just before the deadline so that you can get your full legendary, and there would have been a lot of manipulations like
Oh,
that. Some things very artificial.
yeah, that's also a very good point. What I expect from every team is a member list. So
Okay.
only those players who are listed on this list at the beginning of the tournament will receive prizes. So that I don't want to see some lodge hopping or people getting kicked for rewards.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so only those 20, like if Masterclass sends me a member list, like this are our players, either as a screenshot, I don't care, or as a written list, I'm fine with both. I know those are the players, those are the names I will forward to Everguild to receive prizes.
Right at the
Only
beginning.
those 20.
Okay, it makes sense.
So there won't be a lot of swapping around for matches, and I don't want to see like super teams getting formed. Like let's say um Traitor's End and some of their like sister lodges, like let's say Ironclad, Fragile Art, they all play in Lodge Wars. Fragile Art and Ironclad get eliminated like early, one in groups, one in playoffs, and in the finals, like Traitor's End takes the best players out of all their sister lodges, like and
Hmm.
forms like a super team. That's
Okay.
something I
Yeah.
don't want to see. So that's why I want to have the member list, and only those 20 players are eligible to play in the tournament for the team.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if somebody hops around later or whatever. Only those 20 players are allowed to play games and will receive prizes if they qualify for it.
That sounds very good.
Yeah, and I think that fixes like the major loophole holes. Obviously, I have sent the rules to most lodge masters who have been interested in those. I posted an announcement like I believe 4 weeks ago that whoever lodge master wanted to have a look at the rules could private message me, and I forwarded them to those, and I asked for like input, like, do you see flaws? Do you see like, is there something you are afraid of abuse? Like,
Yeah,
and I got some feedback. Most of them have been quite happy with the rules that they have seen. Some had some questions like, how do you rule this? How do you rule that? But in the end, I think the rule set isn't too detailed, but also shows you what we are looking to host, what we are planning to do, and how we want to run our tournament. And I haven't heard of any loophole yet, so I'm pretty confident in the rule set, and my co-hosts are as well.
it seems very robust. Like, I can't see any loopholes right now. You have anticipated more difficulties than I can see for now.
Yeah, and I think it's also not too detailed, so people don't get confused. I honestly, personally, don't like the point system we run in the World Cup.
Yeah,
That's a system we probably will use in the future again, but for a different set of tournament. It's more of a league tournament. So we have talked about using it for faction wars, which might be possible. But in a rule set like World Cup or Lodge Wars or weekly tournaments, the point system doesn't really work. It's not so obvious who advances, and it's also very frustrating if you win like a round with like 2-1, two players of your team won and one lost,
hmm
and the wins have been 2-1 and the loss has been 0-3. Still, the lodge with the 0-3 loss is the loser of the round, because it's like
yeah.
4 rounds won versus 5 rounds won, and that's kind of
It's
frustrating.
15 points against 12, the way we do
Yeah,
it in the World Cup.
yeah, right, and that's very frustrating. So I like the best of three format with like winner is like the winner, no points, just straight up winner, and tiebreakers will obviously be stuff like the first tiebreaker will always be wins. That's obvious. The second tiebreaker will be the direct matchup. And then we will look at the third tiebreaker, which will be how many wins you got, like wins to losses ratio. But I mean, I
Okay,
don't see us reaching the third tiebreaker ever,
yeah,
honestly.
honestly. And so my question is, how do you involve the draws?
Draws.
Like in horses in World Cup, there are many draws. Like there are not that many, but they are possible. And I guess the whole idea of that point system was to say, okay, well, if there is a draw happening, then we have a fixed result. Like there's no need for a rematch.
A draw will result in a rematch,
Hmm.
obviously, in Lodge Wars, because you have to win with both your warlords. A draw is not a win,
Okay.
so well, it doesn't matter if it's like 1 win, 8 draws. You will still play another game till you win with your second warlord as well. So
Okay.
that's the mode of conquest. Only wins count, and a draw is, so to say, not a rematch, because your opponent obviously can choose to take a different warlord if he still has the option to it, or you can choose a different warlord if you have the option to it. Like if the game one of two players, like between you and me, we play Horus Fulgrim and you play Angron Mortarion, and Angron Mortarion ends in a draw. We don't have to play Angron Mortarion again. we can also play. Oh wait, you play Anglo Mortarion, like Horus and Mortarion. I can say, well, I want to start with Fulgrim instead, and we don't have to face the exact same warlords again. We can
Okay.
repick for like the match. Yeah,
Okay.
but you
Okay.
have to win with both. That's the thing. Draws
So,
don't matter.
so are you not afraid that some lodges might, well, use this in order to artificially swing the course of a best of three? Like
Um,
people willing to draw and draw again? Could there possibly be any advantage to that?
I mean, it's. I honestly don't think it's a big issue because, well, you need if you draw that. I mean, it's something. It's yeah. It saves your warlord's life, so to say. Um, I honestly, since you have to win with both warlords anyways, it doesn't really matter. It's just, yeah, it's another game. It doesn't change the result in the end,
Okay.
more or less. Um, because yeah, you have to possibly play the same match again, and it's just, yeah, if you say, okay, I can't win, but I can draw, yeah, go for it, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay.
That's
That sounds fair. I was just asking.
no, all good, all good. Honestly, in all conquest formats, we haven't seen too many draws. They happen from time to time, but in the end, it's just another game. And I mean, the game takes around 10 minutes, so it's not so bad. Something I want to point out also, I just remembered, is like we will use the Horus Heresy Legion's major tournament Discord server for all teams. I will stick in an invitation for that server on the official Discord,
Okay.
and it's every team will get its own sub channel, and I will create a channel for all lodge masters or lodge coordinators where they can talk.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit cooler to have like a closed tournament server for it as well. We used it for some of our bigger tournaments. We used it for the first World Cup. We used it for the Legends server. We used it for Last Lodge Wars, and was always really good because have you, you can see who's your player, your opponents. Like you can contact them directly because at least the lodge master is on the server. You know who to address. Like you don't have to look it up. Who's the guy? You can just address some guy from the opponent's team or write in their channel and say, okay, this is like I have a matchup with player A, so I have time on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and what does suit you the best? So
Yeah.
it's easier to arrange matches, and also it has a pretty cool dynamic. We
Yeah.
always have been pretty open to like some bragging and some like friendly shit talking. So people hosting or posting some pics or some memes on the opponent's channel is appreciated to a degree. Like as long as it's in within the normal rules of behavior, having some fun, bragging, like getting hyped for the matchup, that's absolutely okay, and I enjoy it as well because I have sometimes a good laugh myself.
Yeah.
Um,
Some people are really good at bragging.
yeah, and it is fun, and it makes the
Yes.
game enjoyable. But yeah, so um, stay within the rules. Like obviously, no racism, and
Obviously.
like no insulting stuff like that. Standard behavior. But at that point, like it's really fun to have like a general channel, have some lodges channels, and just to have a good time together, like for the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's something I at least ask the Lodge Wars coordinators or Lodge Masters to join. I know many of those who will play in Lodge Wars are already on the server because they played in earlier Lodge Wars or in an earlier World Cup. But yeah, I mean, to have at least one or two guys minimum for each lodge who are reachable via the official Discord server, that helps a lot to get games done and like to get more of a tournament feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we have most points covered. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Like I think we didn't miss anything so far.
I'm trying to think
Uh,
of something.
yeah. I
So
mean, I sent you the picture of the Blood Games card back, right?
yeah, you did.
Okay. Yeah, that's the like obviously the reward like gold, silver, and bronze. I think at the moment they are pretty exclusive because the golden one is like 6 players in total, and the silver one is 6 players as well. The bronze one is a bit, I think, all teams from the last World Cup who went to playoff stage got one. So
Mm-hmm.
in total, I think that's like maybe 40 players who own that card back. Now we will get 12 more who own it, so it's a card back that only I think around 60 players own. And after Lodge Wars, we will double the amount, which is still, yeah, not too much. Like, it's pretty exclusive still.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a
Good.
good one.
Yeah, it's a very good one. It's definitely one you want to add to your collection.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, this.
Well,
Yeah, I think I don't have anything else to say about Lodge Wars per se. Um, Obviously, I hope that I think we will start end of July, probably. I believe that's the 2nd of August. That's what I'm focusing on.
2nd of
Um,
August.
yeah, that's the Monday. So I will end the registration on 1st August probably, and we will start on 2nd August. But that depends a bit on the World Cup. If they take some time to get to the playoff stages at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
I will postpone a bit. But I think Group A is the missing one.
Yeah, we're
Is
missing. We're currently playing the 8th round, so there is one more coming up, or maybe. I mean, I still have 2 matches to play. Easier like
okay.
that. So still 2 matches to play, and then there will be 3 rounds, like quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals.
Yeah.
So that should be about a month, right?
Yeah, I agree. That's what I expect. I hope that we don't have to postpone next week for the big patches that is coming. And while I can see like the rounds getting extended by 1 or 2 days every time because people don't find time to play for the players, stuff like that. So I see like 5 weeks it's quite possible that's finished within that.
Yeah. So we're gonna start it at the more like the end of August,
No, yeah, right.
since
The
we're
end of
already in the
August.
middle of July.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, end of August, obviously. So I hope that wait, yeah, that's maybe 30th of August or maybe something like the 6th of September. That's the
Yeah, because I guess too we won't be starting Large War the day after World Cup ends.
yeah, probably a week later. That's I mean, it's only a few guys who play in the World Cup. At the end, it's 12 guys.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not big of an issue. Like, those 12 guys are in lodges, they can probably field more than 10 players. So they can, like, let them sit for week one and field some other players.
Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't be the issue. So, yeah, but I really want to start with Lodge Wars. I'm very excited to see what will happen. I honestly think it will lead to some really entertaining matchups.
Yeah.
Like there are some big rivalries who have been like existing for ages, and those guys really, really want to have another shot at each other. Um, there are some teams like we are Lodge Wars 5. There are already 4 Lodge Wars winners, and like the first Lodge Wars was pretty small. The second one was actually, yeah, it was like the second Lodge Wars was bigger. The third one was really, really good. Like Traitors End are the reigning champions, so to say, but last time I think 3 Seeker teams placed in the top 4, so that was, yeah, they showed up strong, really, really
Okay.
strong. And I think Masterclass really, really wants to get one Lodge Wars title at the moment. They have
And
been very close, and they are always have been co-favorites. And so far, they always, I think they lost a final once, they've lost a semi-final once, and last time they still made it to playoffs, and I don't know if they lost first or second round of players, but they have always been close, and they often lost to the overall champions in the tournament. So I think this time they're yeah,
yeah,
excited
pretty
about
pretty
taking it.
pent up.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is so. What I heard is like this is our time now. We will make it. But they are also like there's so many big lodges who and also smaller lodges who sometimes just show up. Um, I think the Brotherhood will be a tough opponent. They are like so many like really
Yeah.
official Assassinarium somehow showed up for Lodge Wars every single time. Like they won. I think Lodge Wars won, if I'm correct.
I don't
Or
know.
two, I don't. Yeah, so sometimes you don't expect them to win, but there are some good teams who have some good players.
Los Primarchas too, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, obviously.
no, still fourth in
That
the
that's
ladder.
yeah, that's something people often miss out on is that there are big communities outside of the official Discord. Like
Yeah.
the official Discord probably is the biggest community,
Yeah.
but I know the Spanish community, they are also quite big, and they aren't seen very often on the main Discord because, as far as I know, they have like some WhatsApp groups and stuff like that. So that's where they talk to each other. And obviously, we have a huge Russian community who talks a lot via WK, no,
VK.
WK, yeah.
Yeah.
And so there are big communities who show up for World Cups and Lodge Wars who you don't often see on the main court.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some people will be surprised, but yeah. Also, it's a good time to find some friends. Like
Mhm.
for me, I've been super lucky to be able to host or co-host Lodge Wars in the past because I've got to know so many people who I either played in Lodge Wars or who I had contact with by hosting, and it's really fun to meet good players who you sometimes won't meet. Like Yeah, sometimes you face a war master in any round, like with his card back, and get to talk to each other, have fun, like maybe win the game, all good. But in the end, like you got into contact with some people who have like really good ideas about deck building and meta and stuff like that. And those are like guys I still contact. Like I know some people are very good with certain warlords, and if I pick those up, I sometimes build a deck, send it to them, and say, "Hey, buddy,
Hey,
critique it." And they say, "Yeah, sure. Look at this, and yeah, I understand what you're building, but this works better. Try it." And it's really, really cool. Like you get friends outside of your lodge.
well,
That's
if you want to do that with me too, I can definitely try and patch up your decks if you like.
I well, honestly,
Well,
I enjoy it. Like I enjoy deck building. I sometimes join Warpix stream and force him to play some meme decks, which is for me very entertaining. For him, I would say 50% entertainment and
uh,
50% chore.
I was there when
So,
you made him play this Mortarion deck.
oh yeah, okay. Well, I think my best deck has been the OTK hard deck. That was such a meme. That was really really fun. But
Well, if you want to do something like that too on the stream, I'm not streaming much, but sometime I am. Well, something I would be glad to have you as a guest, you know?
yeah,
Just like
sure.
I'm having you tonight, today. So
Yeah, that's
I,
absolutely.
I'm thinking of just cutting the video here because we're kind of done talking about Lodge Wars and the rules, but we can.
Yeah, sure.
So, thank you guys for joining me today. That was it for the rules. If you guys have any question, please let me know in the comments. We'll make sure to answer that. Yeah, I'll see you around for some more videos and some more Goblin gameplay too. Have fun.